Lisa Thompson here, and welcome to another edition of The Doctor is in Live. I'm actually on location here, waiting for my Cocker Spaniel Lulu to finish up with her grooming. So I have about 15 minutes before I have to come and get her, and I thought, well, this would be a good time to kind of get together and do a little bit of a Facebook Live where I'm going to share with you some mindset tips. And this is something that I learned a few years ago that just really helped me with my business and in my personal life as well. And it's the law of the inner circle. And now some of you are familiar with Jim Rohn's quote that your success in life is on the average of the 5 people you hang around with the most. And that is very true. And we're going to expand on that today by talking about the law of the inner circle. This is John Maxwell's interpretation of it. If you're not reading John Maxwell, I highly recommend that you do, because he's an amazing author, does some great leadership training. As a matter of fact, I have to give a shout out to my good friend Mark Herbert, who taught me and introduced me to the readings and teachings of John Maxwell. And John is just awesome. And so John talks about that there are 6 characteristics of people who you need to be looking for in your inner circle. Now, there's going to be times in your life where people are going to come in and out of your inner circle at various times because they're going to teach you specific things, because there's a time and a place for everything. And so what you need to do is, when you're picking people to be in your inner circle, you need to be looking for essentially 6 characteristics. And this is very, very important. And I'm going to go through each of these. And they're very easy to remember because they all start with the letter C. So the first one we're going to talk about here is champions. People who you need to have in your inner circle, they should be champions. They're people who get you, all right? They believe in your vision, and they are willing to support you. And they believe you. They're going to be the most loyal people you can find. Hey, Jody, thanks for watching. And what a champion does is that they're going to be your most loyal friends or associates, okay? I'm very loyal. All right, I'm loyal to a fault, for those of you who know me. Hi, Amelia. Great to have you watching. And when you have somebody who's a champion and they're loyal to a fault, they're going to be in your corner no matter what. They've got your back. But the thing with champions that you have to understand is that you have to earn their loyalty. That's very, very important. The next characteristic that you should be looking for people in your inner circle is they need to be creators. These are people who are constantly looking to seek and develop new things, because creators are teachers and problem solvers, okay? You have to be around people who are always looking for things to keep them interested and learning. And creators, the minute they start getting bored, they got to be looking for something else. And so you need creators like that in your sphere of influence, because they're going to teach you ways of looking at things from a different perspective and to be creating as well. The third C is that you need people who are chargers. And what do I mean by chargers? I'm around a lot of people in entrepreneurs, and they are very successful, and they have a mascot, if you will. Okay, oh, awesome. Amelia says, I love being creative and around creators. You got to hang around with Amelia, guys. She's got the coolest dog, Shotzi. I mean, one of the most beautiful dogs I've ever seen. So you got to go check out Amelia and her dog, Shotzi. And she gives some really great ideas, too. If you have pets, especially dogs, and really want to keep them healthy, go check her out. Now, as I was talking about with chargers, entrepreneurs have a mascot, if you will, and it's called the honey badger. You see, honey badgers, they're relentless in getting what they want. They're not afraid. And so what chargers are, and you want people like this in your life who are chargers, who know specifically who they want, what they want, and they're going after it. And they don't care how long it takes to get what they want, but they're going to go and get it. That's what chargers are, because I think a lot of times, this is what I'm seeing, with a lot of people, and I'm still in healthcare as a speech therapist. And some of the things that I see is that a lot of people who get, 10, 15, 20 years into their practice or in their profession, they tend to take it easy a little bit. And it's because they feel that, they don't want to upset the apple cart. They just want to kind of ride out the clock until retirement. And that's really not living. I mean, you got to be around chargers who, what chargers do is that they up your game to a whole nother level. And when you do that, it's amazing, because when you bring out the best in others, you're going to bring out the best in yourself. And that's what chargers do. Another type of C, okay, is that you have to have people who are collaborators. These are people who love to work together, okay, because two heads are always better than one. And I'll tell you, when you can find collaborators and you develop symbiosis, okay, when you have symbiosis, that just means you're adding to each other's energy. And you balance each other out. I had the unique privilege about 10 years ago. I was working in my very first nursing home in downtown Minneapolis. And it was one of the most difficult nursing homes that I ever worked in, because this was dealing with people with mental illness. And they had anywhere from bipolar, schizophrenia, various forms of dementia, where their physical and mental behaviors were so bad that a traditional nursing home couldn't handle them. And that was my first work experience. And I was very blessed to be working with a physical therapist there who we had a very symbiosis relationship in terms of we balanced each other out and we added to each other's energy. And when we did that, we created an environment where people really wanted to come and they wanted to work with us, because we kind of broke down a barrier. Because back then, in therapy therapists, the attrition rate of keeping staff was very, very high, because people didn't know how to work with these residents. And so this physical therapist and I, we put our two heads together and collaborated. And in so doing, we added to each other's energy level. We were also champions of, and we were also creators. And in so doing, we wound up getting people who normally wouldn't want to come and help us out. They started to. So that's the power of having a collaboration. You also want people who are consultants. Okay, and what do I mean by a consultant? This is someone who you would want that you can go to when you're having trouble. Okay, where you need some advice, where you feel like you're stuck, and they can listen to you and they can provide you solutions. Because there's going to be a lot of times in your life, whether it's in your business or personal life, where you're going to get stuck. There's going to be problems. And sometimes we can't see the forest for the trees. So if we can go to someone that we can trust and we can talk with them, they can give us a different perspective to look at. So that's another great way of having people in there as a consultant. So keep in mind these C's, because what they're going to do is it's going to give you a well-rounded, fulfilled life when you can associate with people like this. Now, does this mean that every person in your inner circle has to have all of these qualities? Not necessarily. I mean, you can have one person that is a champion. You could have one person that's the consultant. You can have one person that's the charger. Okay? It doesn't matter. And you're just going to have to remember that these 6 characteristics can apply to anybody. And certain people are always going to come into your life at certain times for a specific reason. Okay? But you always keep in front of you these characteristics of who you want. And if you're writing them down, these are the people who I want in my inner circle. They're going to come to you, because whatever you think about, you're going to attract. And so today, I want you to sit back and think, who are your 5? Who are your 5 that you hang out with? Do they have these qualities? If not, then sit back and think, who do I want to attract? Okay? And you need to ask yourself, who do I want to become? Who do I want to be? And find people who already have what you want in terms of how you want to be as a leader. How do you want to be seen as a teacher? How do you want to make that impact and be a legacy? And write down those characteristics. And you're going to find those people. All right? Because you're looking for people who are looking for you. And when you do that, it's going to be amazing. But I'm going to give you one more thing to challenge you today. And that is, I want you to think back to people in your life who are maybe a consultant to you, a champion, a collaborator, a creator, a charger. And sit back and think who they are, and then send them a message of gratitude. Send them a thank you note and just say, hey, I just want to thank you for being there for me when I had all these troubles, and you really helped me push through them. And I just wanted to say, I appreciate you. Oh, hey, Keisha. Keisha's awesome. If you haven't watched following Keisha Bass, you need to. She is just awesome and terrific. Amelia, you were talking about Baxter. Yes, Baxter is the name of the honey badger and mascot that we associate with. We call our honey badger Baxter. And so go out there and just really be grateful for those people who embodied those characteristics and helped you. Because I always believe we should pay it forward. And you'll be amazed at what happens when you just do these little simple things. Wow, great minds think alike. Amelia said she just covered legacy on her Facebook Live and time to create a legacy. Awesome, awesome. And I know you're creating a great legacy right now, Amelia. And that's what we need to be doing, is creating legacies. Hey, Steve. Hey, how are the Badgers doing? Yeah, Wisconsin Badgers are playing right now. On Wisconsin, I have to go and make sure I keep an update on the feed there while I'm waiting for my... Lulu's almost done here, so I'm going to have to end this very quickly. But I hope you guys got value today from this Facebook Live about your inner circle. Because when you got a powerful inner circle, you're going to see a lot more success happen, and your attitudes and beliefs are going to change. Okay? I want to leave you with a final thought. I remember when I used to work in a work environment where at noontime we always sat and we complained all the time about what was going on at work, how we were getting, the short end of the stick. And I remember, leaving work and just feeling kind of icky. Or we'd go out for happy hour, and then we'd do more complaining. And when you sit and you talk and you complain and complain and complain, you really feel tired after that. Now, I'll have to admit that I used to do that. I used to be the instigator of it. But when I began to stand guard at the door of my mind and my mouth, and I really began looking at how some of the people I looked up to, how they did things, how they presented themselves, how they handled themselves, I began to act differently, and I began to hold myself to a higher standard. And when I did that, I started attracting more people to me, and now I have quality friendships where when we can get together, we're always talking about what we can do better for each other and lifting each other up. And that's how we're going to make our mark in the world. So I hope you got value today, and then make sure that you, up in the upper right-hand corner of your screen, you should tap on that button that says Get Notifications, because in that way you'll know when I'm doing another Facebook Live. You'll immediately see that in your feed, and then we can sit and we can have more discussions. Now make sure you tune in tomorrow, because on Sunday I'm going to teach you a form of meditation that I've been doing for the last 4 years, and it really helps me gain clarity and lead a purpose-driven life. And it's a Latin term called Lectio Divina, and I'm going to share what that is and how you can start using that in your life tomorrow. So with that said, I got to go get my Lulu from the groomer. Have a great Saturday, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.